Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
I'm Anna Manuel. Thank you for joining us. A woman has died after being hit by a train in Elmira Heights. According to Elmira Heights police, the woman was struck by the southbound train in the area of West 14th Street in College Avenue. Police have identified the woman as Mary Johnson of Elmira Heights. EHP says she was walking on the rails as the train was approaching. Officers are working with railroad employees to determine exactly what led to the accident. A spring-winter blast left many in the Twin Tiers experiencing power outages today. New York State Electric and Gas is reporting thousands of outages in the area alone, with many thousands more being reported statewide. The winter weather is expected to make its way out and bring on warmer temps as the week goes on. Our Alyssa Triplett will join us a little later with more details. But first, Katie Byrne tells us more about the storm's impact.
People across the Northeast woke up to snow-coated roads and driveways as a late-season nor'easter pummels the region. The strong storm dumping up to a foot of snow in parts of Pennsylvania and New York. Heavy precipitation is knocking over trees and weighing down power lines, leaving more than 270,000 customers without power.
If it's going to get bad, it gets all the streets, you can't even go down them sometimes. We would have to move our cars all the time.
Up and down the East Coast, soaking rain is impacting travel conditions. The National Weather Service says about 1 to 2 inches of precipitation has fallen, causing heavy flooding in parts of New Jersey and eroding beaches just weeks before Memorial Day.
I don't really go to the beach much, but I could definitely say it's probably getting smaller, just time taking its course.
And it's not just the Northeast seeing a rare spring snow. In Minnesota, state police responded to dozens of crashes on Monday after blowing snow caused slick roads. Detroit seeing about 1 to 2 inches yesterday.
I feel sorry for the flowers that are blooming and the trees that are trying to bloom.
Officials say the conditions are delaying crews from getting roads ready for the warmer weather.
It's taking them away from patching potholes and doing other things they would ordinarily be doing this time of year.
Forecasters say the snow should be out of the region by early Wednesday. In Binghamton, New York, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
AAA is collecting car and boat batteries to help diminish the effects that non-recycled batteries have on the environment. AAA of Western and Central New York has multiple battery collection points and says all recycling fees will support charitable groups working to help the environment. You can take any brand of AGM batteries, including car, boat, and RV batteries. Lithium batteries are not eligible. Several companies are tossing out mask requirements after a federal judge ruled the CDC's mask mandate for public transportation unlawful. Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
Now the position is masks will be optional this evening for all crew and passengers as well. So it is
cheers and relief after a federal judge struck down the national mask mandate Monday, with some announcements taking place mid-flight.
Congratulations.
Several airlines no longer have restrictions after the TSA said it wouldn't enforce the federal order for public transportation.
I'm really looking forward to seeing people's smiles again.
Companies like Uber and Amtrak are also making masks optional, to the disappointment of the Biden administration, which last week had extended the mask requirement until May 3rd to allow more time to study the BA.2 variant.
The CDC continues recommending wearing a mask in public transit.
Coronavirus cases are rising in major cities, with the BA.2 variant driving the uptick in infections. But hope is on the horizon. Moderna says preliminary data shows its updated booster shot provides added protection against variants. Still, some say for now they're keeping their masks on.
If COVID rates were higher, I would feel uncomfortable. So I hope that they, keep that and masks go back on in the places that rates go up.
Now the CDC is launching a new center for forecasting and outbreak analytics. Federal health officials say it will work like the National Weather Service, providing better and faster information about future outbreaks. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Moderna is hoping to offer updated COVID-19 booster shots in the fall. The biotech company is aiming to combine the original vaccine recipe with a new one that can protect against the Omicron variant. Moderna's hope is that a combination booster can produce more antibodies capable of fighting several variants. Russian forces are attacking along a broad front in eastern Ukraine as the full-scale ground offensive gets underway. Matt Finn has more from Lviv, Ukraine.
The battle for the Donbass has begun. Ukraine's defense ministry says Russia has started, quote, a large-scale offensive in the east with three main goals: establishing a corridor to Crimea, capturing all of the Donbass region, and destroying the Ukrainian armed forces. But Ukrainian troops on the front line say they're ready for whatever Moscow throws at them.
If they step on our territory, let them come in. They will stay here forever. They will get what they deserve.
The Russians have reportedly deployed 60 to 75,000 troops along a 300-mile front. The Pentagon says a significant part of the Russian army is now concentrated in this relatively small area, and they still have the vast majority of their combat power available. Though a Russian victory is far from a sure thing.
It's a flat open area. The Russian tanks will obviously have their advantage, but tank battles are really always very iffy, and particularly if heavy artillery gets in there, it could be very messy.
A big question mark whether the Ukrainians will be able to hold onto the city of Mariupol, where defenders are running short on manpower and ammunition. If the city falls, as many as 12,000 Russian troops will be freed up to join the offensive, creating a land bridge between Russia and the Crimean Peninsula.
I'm afraid this is going to be a very gruesome and sad end to an heroic fight by those Ukrainian soldiers.
Ukraine says it has had to pull back some of its troops in some areas, but its defensive line has not been broken. In Lviv, Ukraine, Matt Finn, Fox News.
A recent dip in gas prices isn't expected to last for long. Gas futures have risen over the past week, leading some industry leaders fearing for consumers. The national average gas price currently sits at $4.08 per gallon, but one expert says the average could climb back up another 7 to 12 cents. This is a further reaction to the invasion of Ukraine as Western countries further isolate the Russian economy. A necessary component of the global supply chain could see help from the federal government. Congress is considering funneling billions of dollars in research and manufacturing to the computer chip industry. The computer chip shortage has been one of the defining issues with the pandemic supply chain, delaying shipments of cars, computers, and more. Alyssa Triplett is in next with our complete forecast. Plus this.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, it was a snowy day, especially for a late April-like system. Now, some of the preliminary reports coming through, some of the top reports, mainly across New York and Pennsylvania, are looking at some of those higher reports just off to the east of our area. We are seeing that some of this higher spots for Sherbet Marathon, even up to about 15 inches of snowfall, and that heavy wet snowfall as well. Even looking at the National Weather Service in Binghamton, it was just a white scene. The snowfall was able to coat the cars, the trees, the rooftop, the roadways. Now the good news is that this is a late season snow. So capturing some images from the National Weather Service Binghamton's camera, you can tell melting already occurring on the camera. Even seeing that those roadways were able to be cleared up pretty nicely, but still some travel troubles may be possible as you step into tomorrow morning, as we will continue a melting pattern with some improvements as we step into that Wednesday forecast. So the system will continue to end off overnight. There definitely has been still some flurry action across the state of New York due to some of that lake enhanced snow. As we will stay breezy and cool overnight, lows will fall near that freezing mark again, but shouldn't exceed that, shouldn't be dealing with any freezing conditions of some of that melting snowfall. But we'll continue to talk about that melting snow as we look at increasing sunshine for your Wednesday. Now, as we end your Thursday, might not keep all of that sunshine due to a chance for some light rain showers across the state, but I say very light rain showers if it comes to even moving through the Elmira area. And the good news is chances that we will see a warming trend. It's been below average, and we could be back towards average or even above that with 70s on your Sunday. So overnight, we taper off those snow chances, even clear out those skies early tomorrow morning with lows falling near that freezing mark as we decrease that cloud cover again. Abundant sunshine really across much of the Northeast for all day on Wednesday. Thursday morning, you'll start to see that increase into the cloud cover, and there's some of those showers. So they might be able to just bring an isolated shower or two to the Elmira area. As when we talk about accumulation, about 1/10 of an inch, if that at all possible. That higher threat is going to be closer to the Great Lakes and moving into the main area. Now we see that high temperatures on Wednesday. They are still slightly below average by nearly 10 degrees, as we even see Wayland only at about 51 to Elmira at about 53. Binghamton at 50 degrees, a little bit cooler due to that stronger snowpack across that area. Now for your Thursday, here's a little bit more of a warm up, 58 degrees, average is 61. So we're getting closer there. Even that low looking nice at the mid 30s for this time of the year, just on par. Now we even take it up to the 60s by Friday, back under some sunshine. We will watch a high pressure system fill in, and that's going to allow for the area to tap into some of that warmth. We even see 77 on Sunday, not even just the 70s, the upper 70s at that. Pretty quiet over the weekend. Might need to watch to work in some isolated precipitation chances through the weekend forecast, but it seems like we have another switch in the temperatures come Monday into Tuesday.
A hospital in Utah is using high-tech advancements in a push to make medical procedures a little easier for patients. John Franchi has more.
These machines are a big part of the future of healthcare, and the students trying out this new tech are a big part of that future as well. This is the Da Vinci robotic surgical system just launched at American Fork Hospital. IMC took the tech to Lone Peak High School, and students who are thinking about careers in the medical field gave it a try. The machine allows a doctor to perform a surgery by guiding a robot from a console outside the operating room. Healthcare professionals say it allows for smaller incisions, less pain, and shorter recovery times. You can see students at the controls picked apart a candy wrapper and then moved items around what would be a surgical area. These kids who have grown up with video game controllers in their hands their entire lives seem to be naturals at the controls.
It's almost like doing a video game control in there. You just have to learn the precise movements that make, the robotic arms open and close, or do a cutting motion.
At first it was the depth perception is hard to understand, but once you got used to it, you got to unwrap the Snickers.
IMC hopes this new generation of tech will inspire the next generation of doctors and nurses. IMC received these machines just in February. So far, they performed about 10 surgeries with that technology. In Highland, John Franchi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
New high-tech chopsticks could be a game changer for people on special diets. Kevin Cork has a look at how the utensils change the way your food tastes and how they could help people with high blood pressure.
Researchers in Japan hope their new taste-enhancing chopsticks will make healthy foods, low in salt, taste better. A welcome sign for millions of Americans on low-sodium diets because of high blood pressure. The high-tech utensils are hooked up to a special computer device on the user's wrist, which causes a small electric current to flow through what they're eating, activating any sodium ions and allowing for their tongue to taste more salt than is actually in the food.
We're able to enhance the salty taste by up to 1.5 times.
Researchers hope the chopsticks can help people maintain healthy blood pressure levels. And while it's normal for your blood pressure to fluctuate throughout the day, if it remains too high for too long, medical officials say it can lead to heart disease and stroke. According to the CDC, roughly half of all adults in the U.S. suffer from high blood pressure, but only 24% properly manage it. A serious concern, as health experts report more than 500,000 people died back in 2019 as a result of hypertension.
You should make sure that your sodium intake or salt intake is less than 1 teaspoonful a day.
Besides costing lives, the CDC also says high blood pressure is costing the U.S. about $131 billion in health-related costs each and every year. The agency also reports a greater percentage of men are affected by the condition than are women. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
For some people, dealing with the pandemic these past 2 years has meant turning to their favorite dishes, including fried foods. Mac King has more.
Fritos or fried chicken?
Chicken wings.
Wings.
Small fry from McDonald's.
Oreos, fried Oreos.
Calamari.
Whatever our fried food of choice, it seems more of us ordered, made, or ate more of it more often the last couple of years.
Because, hello, where do we begin?
The Wall Street Journal reports repair calls for overworked restaurant deep fryers nearly doubled between March of 2020 and the end of 2021. The rate at which Americans added fries to their orders increased, along with the amount of fried food on restaurant menus. Fried chicken sandwich offerings.
I don't know, it just goes down the right way. It's the crunchiness.
And a dairy processor in Wisconsin saw cheese curd orders grow by nearly 40% last year, and then another 24% in January and February of this year. All of this surprised Core 3 Healthy Eating Plan author and registered dietitian Lisa Moskovitz not at all.
Your body is under stress or you're in that fight or flight mode. A lot of times we will seek out foods that can increase our feel-good neurotransmitter in our brain, otherwise known as serotonin.
And at least some of us appear unmotivated to relinquish those short-term sensations of pleasure for more healthful options.
This pandemic's been hard. You need comfort food.
WW International reports online searches for diets declined 20% in January from the year before.
A bunch of us at work realized we end up with the COVID-19.
Moskovitz advised treating ourselves with kindness. If we go fried once or twice or 10 times, it doesn't mean we've doomed ourselves to do so forever, and to seek deep fryer alternatives like air fryers, which almost half of all American households now own.
We all went and we joined a group to help us lose a little weight with each other, and we did.
If I need my 10-piece chicken McNugget, then that's what I need.
On the Upper East Side, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.
A brewing company in Arizona says they had to pay thousands of dollars to ship one important piece of equipment to keep their shelves stocked. And they say that shipment was delayed for months due to supply chain issues. Steve Nielsen has more.
Yeah, the cost of shipping rose more than $10,000 just for this one item. And it's not just Phoenix Beer Co. that's facing this issue, but they now know better than most how much shipping overseas can bite you. As Phoenix Beer Company waited and waited for this tank to arrive from China, inevitably they had to get creative and bypass Long Beach.
Eventually we had to pivot and go through Galveston, Texas, and then truck it over there. So there was obviously more availability for shipping containers to land in Texas. And then we just had to have that increased cost of probably going through Panama Canal, and then also the increased cost of the longer truck ride from Texas to Phoenix, Arizona.
Adam Wojcik with Phoenix Beer Co. says it increased the cost $12,000 or 400%.
It's big time dollars. I mean, we're a new brewery, so we're just trying to get, back to even, and start working our way up. But yeah, it's definitely a big shot.
Small and the medium businesses are getting hit harder.
Hitendra Chaturvedi, a supply chain expert at ASU, says there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but large companies can handle it better.
With their deep pockets, they can charter a ship to bring their products all the way from Asia to the US. But what would a small business do? They end up paying very, very high prices.
The cost to install this new tank for Phoenix Beer Co. also doubled from $5,000 to $10,000. It's a lot of money, but the biggest fear was losing business because they couldn't keep the shelves stocked.
If you're out another week and a grocery store is like, that was your last chance, you're out. I mean, that's tens of $20,000, $30,000 over the year. So as soon as we can get this plumbed in, the better.
And if business keeps going strong here, they said they're going to have to get creative in the future. They can't just wait another year. Right now, they're thinking that might mean trying to buy refurbished beer tanks instead of trying to buy again from overseas. Steve Nielsen, Fox 10 News.
Fast food packaging is under fire in a series of lawsuits. PFAs, a series of chemicals known as forever chemicals, have been found in food packaging at major fast food chains. A report says at least 3 lawsuits have been filed against Burger King and McDonald's over their use of PFAs in their packaging, which pose harmful side effects. PFAs may increase the risk of asthma and thyroid disease. McDonald's and Burger King have recently made promises to phase out these chemicals globally by 2025. We want to leave you with a smile. A furry Florida resident breaks the world record of the oldest pup alive. On March 16th, this Chihuahua named Toby Keith achieved the title at 21 years and 66 days old. He surpassed the lifespan of this breed by several years, which is normally between 12 and 18 years. Toby Keith is the second pup holding this title. The prior record holder was an Australian cattle dog who died at 29 years old in 1939. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.